Hello, this is Chris Coffey, Instructional Technology Coach for Bamberg School District 1. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to adjust your images. So first, let's go find an image, and you can see how to do this in more in depth in another video. I'll link that in the description below. If you go into Insert, Image, I'm just going to search the web, and I'm using frog. And I'm going to find the little frog that I was using before with the camera. And I'm going to insert it. Might take it a second. As you can see, it's a fairly large picture. I don't necessarily want to take up half a page with a picture, so I'm going to have to do some adjustments. The first thing we can do is resize it. So if I click on the image, notice I get these little squares all the way around, so I can squeeze it in. Notice if I use the sides, or let me undo that, if I use the bottom, it's going to only change one dimension of the picture, and so it kind of distorts it. If, however, let's go back to the original, if I use the corner squares, I can evenly resize the image so it still is in the correct proportions. So most of the time you're going to want to do that. Alright, so what are some other options that I have? Well, one is I don't like the way it's breaking up this text. So if you notice, there's a box down here that gives you inline, which is what it is now. So it's literally on a line of text. I can text wrap or I can break text. Because of where I put it, it's already kind of breaking text, but I'll click on that one. It actually adds a little bit of space above and below. It's got an 1/8 of an inch margin. I can change that if I wanted to. So if I want 0 margin, notice how it kind of comes up a little closer. Most of the time, I like to use text wrap because it gives you a little bit more flexibility on where you put it. And if you notice, just like it says, the text wraps around the picture. So that way I get to, save as much space as I can. Plus it makes it look a little bit more professional in my opinion. And I'm free to move it wherever I want to on the document. So that makes it a little bit easier to adjust. Maybe I want to squeeze it in a little bit. Maybe there's just too much picture. So I'm still clicked on the picture. And if you'll notice, I've got some options here that I can change things up. If I wanted to add a border or border color, I could do that. Let me give it a blue border, and I want that border to be really thick. I can add that, so I can do those kind of things. And maybe I want it in dots instead of that. Something, just have fun with it to make it look a little bit different or stand out. You could play with that. I'm going to say no border right now. But I can also click on here. This is the crop option. So I can click on that, and maybe I want to shrink it in a little bit and just get a little bit of the frog in there, and I can click it again, and there I go. I've got a cropped image. So now I can maybe make it bigger, but really focus on the part of the image I want. For this picture, it's not a big deal, but if I had a map or something that I really wanted to focus on a specific area, the cropping is definitely a useful option. Once I've made changes, I can reset the image. Like, you know what? I don't like that. I want to go back to the way it was. I can just click on that, and it goes back to the way it was before I cropped it. We have more image options, and this will bring up a little side menu. I can recolor it. There might be times this is useful. A lot of times these things really aren't worth the time for a classroom assignment. Transparency, however, might be. Maybe you want it to be a little less vibrant on the page. You think it's taking away. You can kind of change the transparency and lighten it up. You can also change the brightness of it and the contrast. So you don't have a lot of options that you would have in Microsoft Office, specifically Word. You can't add the shadows or the highlighted background, those kind of things. But you can make some basic changes. Now, if you want to replace the image, you can just click here, and it gives you the same options that you would have under Insert. So if you said, I don't like that image, I want to go find another one, you can go and redo that just like you did before. And the reason this is useful is I've got it the size I want it, I've got it where I want it, I just want a different picture. You can do that, and you can replace it. And give it a second. Notice it replaced the image, but it didn't change the text wrapping or the size. So if you have a picture that you really want, you can't find it, you can go ahead and have kind of a placeholder picture until you get the one that you want. One other thing that you can do is up here, I forgot to mention, you can click on this little circle above it, and you can rotate the image some. Again, just kind of fun, just making it look the way you want it to look. Just realize that if you do mess up completely, ultimately one of the things that you might want to do is just delete the image by clicking on it and hitting the backspace button, and then just starting over, just inserting another image. With that being said, there's enough that you and your students can do to really make your images stand out on your documents and make it look professional, even though it does lack some of the features from Microsoft Word. I hope this has been informative, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have more questions, check out the link to our website in the description below, and thank you for watching.